Why humans are never to be angered. Adam looked out of the small window of his home on the planet Cellura. The sky was a pale blue, with two suns slowly moving across the horizon. He could see the mountains in the distance, tall and sharp, and the forests below moving slightly with the wind. Adam had lived on Cellura all his life. It was not a large planet, but humans had made it home. He breathed in slowly and felt calm. Life was simple here. People farmed, traded, and went about their lives. Nothing extraordinary happened. But the galaxy beyond Cellura did not see humans as calm or simple. The Galactic Union, a collection of thousands of advanced species, watched humanity closely. Many believed humans were weak. They were slow to travel in space, small in numbers, and seemed unremarkable compared to other races. Commander Zalek of the Vran Empire was one of those who laughed at humans. To him, humans were a quiet species. He thought they were easy to ignore. They survive only because no one bothers them, Zalek said to his council one day. They are weak. They have no real strength, no power. Why fear them? Other council members agreed. They had seen the human colonies scattered across a few small planets. Humans did not have massive fleets, advanced weapons like plasma cannons, or starships capable of jumping across galaxies in minutes. They built small ships, enough to protect themselves locally. Their leaders tried diplomacy and trade. Their soldiers fought with courage, but nothing compared to the Vran warriors. Back on Cellura, Adam and his friend Lucas walked along the river that ran near the village. The water was clear and fish swam lazily. Trees lined the banks, their leaves glowing slightly in the light of the twin suns. Lucas carried a small net for fishing. "Do you ever wonder if there is more out there?" Lucas asked, looking at the horizon. Adam shrugged. "Sure, but I do not think much about it. Life here is good. Why worry?" Lucas smiled but did not answer. He had always been curious. He wanted to see the stars, travel, and maybe meet other species. But he knew humans were small in the galactic sense. Most humans were content with their quiet life. Claire, Adam's sister, joined them near the river. She carried a basket with herbs she had collected from the forest. "You boys still talking about the stars?" she asked, laughing. "One day, I hope someone teaches you to live on the ground." Adam laughed too. "Maybe the stars are too far for us." The three of them walked along the river. They were ordinary humans living ordinary lives. Children played near the water and elders sat on benches, talking quietly. The village was peaceful. Nothing seemed dangerous here. But in the distance, the galaxy was far from peaceful. Aliens studied human colonies with interest. The Vran Empire, in particular, watched closely. They sent small ships to survey planets. They measured human technology, weapons, and even behavior. They found it strange. Humans did not react the way other species did when threatened. When aliens tried to intimidate humans, humans often stepped back. They were polite, calm, and patient. Other species found it strange. Most creatures in the galaxy reacted with fear or aggression when threatened. Humans only seemed to observe and remember. Zalek, frustrated, spoke again in his council. "They do not fight back. They do not surrender. They do nothing. It is as if they have no fear. It is annoying. I want to see how far they can be pushed. I want to see their limits." No one understood why Zalek was curious. Humans were quiet, yes, but no one expected them to be dangerous. That was a mistake. Zalek would soon learn. On Cellura, life went on. Adam and Lucas returned home with fish for dinner. Claire began preparing herbs for cooking. They laughed and talked about small things. The stars were bright above, but they were far away. Humans had no ships capable of leaving Cellura quickly. Other species thought this meant humans were weak. Adam's father, John, came from the workshop carrying a small device. He showed it to Adam and Lucas. "I've been working on this," he said. "It can help us detect ships passing near Cellura, just in case." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "Why would we need that? No one bothers us here." John smiled but did not answer. He understood the galaxy better than most humans. Humans were peaceful, yes. They did not seek war, but they remembered every insult, every attack, and every threat. As night fell, the twin moons rose. The village lit small fires to keep warm. Humans sang quietly and told stories of the past. They remembered their history. They remembered how other species had tried to harm them before. Humans were not cruel. They forgave easily in daily life. But their memory was long. Far away, Zalek watched humans again through a special viewing system. "I will send scouts closer," he said. "I want to see if they react to fear, if they panic, if they beg. I want to break them." The scouts left the Vran Empire. They traveled quickly through space to the human colonies. Humans saw them from their small observatories but did not panic. Adam and Lucas watched the sky and noted strange lights moving fast above. Claire frowned. "I do not like that. They are too close." John explained calmly. "They are probably scouts. Nothing to worry about, but let us watch carefully. Humans have ways to defend themselves if necessary." The scouts landed briefly near a small settlement. They tried to intimidate the humans, firing weapons in the air and making loud sounds. The humans did not attack. They did not scream. They only observed and recorded. The scouts reported back to Zalek. "The humans do nothing. They are weak," one said. Zalek laughed. "I knew it. They are nothing. Soon I will test them further." But Zalek did not understand humans. They were not foolish. They did not need to fight immediately. They waited. They prepared quietly. That was their strength. In the village, Adam, Lucas, and Claire continued their simple life. They grew vegetables, caught fish, and shared stories. The stars above seemed calm, peaceful, and far away. Humans thought little of the Galactic Union or the Vran Empire. They were too busy living. But one thing humans had, unlike other species, was memory. They remembered. They remembered harm done to them. They remembered insults. They remembered unfairness. And when the time came, they would not forget. That quiet, patient nature was invisible to the galaxy. To the Vran Empire and others, it looked like weakness. But humans had a different kind of strength. It was not shown in numbers or speed or weapons. It was shown in patience, intelligence, and the ability to wait until the perfect moment. Adam looked at the stars and sighed. He did not know that the galaxy was watching them so closely. He did not know that Zalek planned to push humans further. But humans had survived worse things before, and they would survive again. Claire sat beside him. "Do you think we are ready for what comes?" she asked softly. Adam shook his head. "I do not know, but I do know one thing. We will not give up, and we will remember." Lucas joined them, looking at the dark horizon. "I hope it never comes to fighting," he said. Adam smiled faintly. "I hope so too, but if it does, humans are not easy to scare, and humans are never to be angered." The night grew quiet. Fires burned low in the village. The twin moons reflected on the river. Humans slept peacefully, unaware of the alien eyes watching them. And in the distance, the Vran Empire plotted. They did not yet understand that humans had patience, memory, and cunning. They did not know that the quiet species they laughed at would one day change the course of the galaxy. Adam, Lucas, and Claire woke the next morning to a bright sun. Life continued as normal. Children played, people worked, and birds sang. But under that normal life, humans were quietly preparing. They always were. Humans remembered. Humans learned. And humans waited. The galaxy would soon learn something very important. Humans were not weak. Humans were calm, clever, and patient. And most importantly, humans were never to be angered. Part 2. The mistake: the Vran Empire was not satisfied with just watching. Commander Zalek wanted to see the limits of human patience. He called his generals to the council hall, a huge room made of dark metal that hummed with energy. "They do not react to our scouts," Zalek said, his voice low but firm. "They do not panic. They do not fight. This is not fear. This is arrogance. I want to test them further. I want to see what humans are really capable of." A general, Krell, stepped forward. "Commander, if we strike one of their colonies, they may call for help. Their fleets are small. We could destroy them quickly." Zalek shook his head. "No, we will not destroy them yet. That would be too obvious. We will provoke them. We will take something from them, just enough to see how they respond." The council agreed. Ships were prepared. A small human outpost on the planet Karis was chosen. It was a quiet place with fewer than 1,000 residents. Humans had built small farms, workshops, and a school. Children played under the twin suns, unaware of the danger approaching from space. At the same time on Karis, Captain Ben and advisor Emma were reviewing reports from local scouts. Ben was a tall man with dark hair and sharp eyes. Emma was smart, calm, and careful, always thinking 2 steps ahead. "Reports show strange ships near our borders," Emma said. "We cannot identify them, but they are fast and advanced." "They do not match known fleets in this sector." Ben frowned. "Could it be another species testing us?" Emma nodded. "It is possible, but we should not panic. Humans have survived worse. We will prepare defenses quietly, and we will avoid unnecessary fighting." Meanwhile, the alien ships moved closer. They hovered above the small human settlement on Karis, their metal hulls glinting in the sunlight. The aliens, curious and confident, landed troops near the main village. They were armed with energy weapons and advanced shields. Their plan was simple: scare humans into submission. Inside the village, life continued as normal. Adam, who had recently arrived on Karis with his family, walked through the streets with Lucas and Claire. Children played near the fountain and people carried goods from market stalls. "Do you feel anything strange?" Claire asked, looking up at the sky. Adam shook his head. "No, the air feels normal. Everything seems calm." Lucas frowned. "I don't know. I have a feeling something is coming. I can't explain it." At that moment, the alien troops appeared in the streets. Their presence was loud and aggressive. They fired small bursts into the air to scare humans. The ground shook slightly, and smoke rose from a few small fires. People screamed and ran, but the humans did not attack. They only observed. Farmers set down their tools. Teachers gathered children and moved them to safe places. No one tried to fight the aliens directly. Captain Ben and advisor Emma arrived quickly with a small group of security officers. "Stand down," Ben shouted, his voice calm but firm. "We will handle this. Civilians, move away from the streets." The aliens laughed. "You humans are weak. You do not resist." "You are nothing," one of them shouted. Emma did not respond. She only watched the alien movements carefully. She took notes of their weapons, their shields, and their behavior. Ben did the same. Meanwhile, Adam, Lucas, and Claire found a safe place behind a building. Adam whispered, "They are trying to scare us, but we are alive. That is what matters." Lucas clenched his fists. "Alive is not enough. They are threatening people. We should do something." Adam shook his head. "Not yet. We must wait. Watch. Learn. That is what humans do best." The aliens became frustrated. They destroyed small buildings, burned crops, and made loud threats. They expected humans to fight back or beg for mercy. But the humans remained calm. They helped each other, rescued children, and recorded the alien actions. Zalek received a report from the field. "They do not panic, they do not fight, they are observing, they do not beg, are they even afraid?" "Commander, they are strange," said Krell. "We can't understand them, they do not react like any other species." Zalek's anger grew. "Increase pressure, take more, kill some humans, show them that we are strong, that should make them act." The alien troops followed his orders. They attacked some civilian areas, destroyed farms, and even killed a few villagers. The screams filled the air. But still, the humans did not attack in return. They did not run into space in panic. They only moved carefully, rescuing survivors and helping each other. Captain Ben and advisor Emma coordinated quietly. They sent messages to other human colonies, warning them. They asked for intelligence on alien movements and weaknesses. Adam watched from a safe distance as the aliens burned part of the village. He felt anger, yes, but he did not rush into fighting. Instead, he remembered the faces of the people hurt. He remembered every detail, the weapons, the tactics, the voices of the aliens. He remembered it all. Claire held his hand. "Adam, what will we do?" she asked softly. Adam's eyes were steady. "We will wait. We will remember. Humans never act in anger without a reason. But when we do act, the galaxy will see our strength." Lucas finally understood. "We are not weak. We are patient. We are humans." The aliens miscalculated. They thought killing a few humans would break the species. They thought humans would beg, flee, or fight blindly. But humans were different. They were intelligent, patient, and careful. They observed. They remembered. Zalek grew furious at the reports. "They do nothing. They are mocking us. We will increase pressure further." The Vran Empire sent larger fleets to Karis, but humans remained calm. They evacuated civilians, hid supplies, and mapped the alien movements. Every human action was precise. There was no chaos, no panic, only careful observation. Captain Ben spoke with his officers. "We cannot fight them directly yet, but we will prepare, we will watch, we will record, and we will not forget. Humans survive because we act when the time is right, not when we are pushed into anger blindly." Emma nodded. "They will learn, Commander. Humans may appear weak, but they have a way of turning patience into power." The aliens continued their attacks, unaware of what was coming. They killed, burned, and threatened, thinking they were teaching humans a lesson. But in truth, they were teaching humans the lesson that humans already knew: patience was a weapon. Observation was power, and humans never forgot harm done to them. In small houses, families hid. Children cried, but elders comforted them. People shared food and water. They helped each other without panic. Humans did not act rashly. They were calm even in fear. Adam, Lucas, and Claire finally returned to their home after helping neighbors. They saw the damage done by the aliens. Fields were burned. Homes were destroyed. A few people were injured, and yet Adam's mind was not filled with panic. It was filled with plans, observations, details. Every step of the alien attack, every mistake, every weakness was remembered. That night, humans gathered in small groups. They counted losses, shared information, and prepared quietly. They did not speak of revenge yet. They only spoke of survival and understanding the enemy. Far above, Zalek fumed. "Why do they not break? Why do they not react? They are supposed to be weak." "Are we missing something?" Krell hesitated. "Commander, perhaps humans are more resilient than we thought." Zalek slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Resilient? Ridiculous. They are weak. We will push further. We will show them power. And when they fail to react, then we will laugh." But Zalek did not realize that humans were not weak. Their calm was not fear. Their patience was not ignorance. They were learning. They were preparing. And one day when humans acted, it would not be in anger, but in precision, intelligence, and unstoppable force. On Karis, Adam walked through the ruined streets. He looked at the burnt buildings and the injured people. He felt sadness, yes, but he also felt certainty. Humans had survived worse. Humans would survive again, and when the time came, the aliens would regret underestimating them. Claire came beside him. "Do you think they will come back?" Adam nodded. "Of course they will. They always come back, but we will be ready. We always are." Lucas looked up at the sky where alien ships hovered. "I used to think humans were weak. Now I am not so sure." Adam smiled faintly. "Humans survive, humans remember, and humans are never to be angered." The night fell quietly on Karis. Fires burned low. The river reflected the moons. The village was damaged but alive. Humans were calm, prepared, and observant. Far away, Zalek planned his next move. He had made a mistake in thinking humans were weak. He did not yet understand that humans acted differently than other species. Their patience was not weakness. Their silence was not fear. Their calm was the first step in a force that no one in the galaxy had yet seen. And in the hearts of Adam, Lucas, Claire, Captain Ben, and Advisor Emma, one thought remained steady. Humans may seem quiet, humans may seem weak, but humans are never to be angered. Part 3. Silent preparation. After the attack on Karis, the humans did not panic. They did not cry out in anger or rush blindly into battle. Instead, they returned to their homes, their farms, and their workshops. The villagers worked quietly, cleaning up the damage and helping those who were hurt. But beneath that calm surface, something else was growing, a careful, silent preparation that the aliens could not see. Adam, Lucas, and Claire walked through the village early in the morning. The air was crisp, and smoke from the burned buildings still drifted lightly across the streets. Children were helping to rebuild small shelters, and elders guided them patiently. Adam's mind, however, was on the larger picture. "We cannot fight them now," Adam said softly to Lucas and Claire. "If we act too soon, we lose. We must wait, we must watch, we must learn everything we can about them." Lucas frowned. "I want to fight them now. They hurt people. They killed some of our neighbors." "Don't we have the right to strike back?" Claire shook her head. "We will strike when the time is right, not now. We must be smarter than them. That is what humans do best." Adam nodded. "Every move they make will teach us something. Every mistake, every weakness, we will remember it. And when we act, it will not be in anger. It will be perfect." At the same time, Captain Ben and Advisor Emma were coordinating the defense of Karis. They sent messages to other colonies, warning them of alien movements. They asked for reports on alien weapons, strategies, and weaknesses. Humans across multiple planets quietly collected data, mapped trade routes, and studied alien behavior. Every detail mattered. "This is more than just a fight for survival," Emma said to Ben. "It is a chance to understand them, to know them completely. And humans are good at that. We remember everything." Ben nodded. "And when the time comes, we will use that knowledge, but we wait. Patience is our strength." Meanwhile, the Vran Empire assumed the humans were afraid. Zalek saw that no large fleets had moved to attack the aliens. He believed the humans were too weak to respond. "They are silent," he said to his council, "but their silence is weakness. Soon we will strike again, and then they will beg." The aliens did not realize that humans' silence was not fear. It was preparation. Humans began to move quietly, almost invisibly. They repaired damaged ships and built new ones in secret. They trained small squads to observe alien patrols without being seen. They placed sensors along the trade routes to track every movement. Noah, a young intelligence officer, and Lisa, a scout, worked together to gather data. They traveled to alien-controlled sectors disguised as traders. They recorded patrol patterns, weapon strengths, and supply depots. Every report they sent back to Karis was studied carefully by human commanders. "Look at this," Noah said one night as he displayed a map of alien movements. "They rely heavily on quick strikes and intimidation. Their defenses are strong in some areas, but they leave gaps along the edges. They underestimate us completely." Lisa smiled faintly. "They do not know that humans think ahead, that we remember every detail, that we prepare silently, without fear, without haste." Adam, Lucas, and Claire were also involved. Adam helped with communication networks, ensuring messages between colonies were secure. Claire assisted in planning evacuation routes for civilians, and Lucas helped transport supplies quietly. No one complained. No one panicked. Humans adapted to the new reality as naturally as breathing. Zalek, on the other hand, grew impatient. "They do nothing," he shouted. "They should be begging, fighting, panicking. They should be easy to crush." Krell tried to explain. "Commander, perhaps humans are different. Perhaps they do not react as other species do." Zalek slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Different? Weaklings are not different. I will push them harder. I will show them what it means to fear." But Zalek's next moves played perfectly into human hands. The more he attacked, the more humans learned. Every patrol, every ship, every weapon system was carefully observed, documented, and analyzed. Humans were building a mental map of the enemy, a strategy that no alien could see coming. On Karis, Adam sat with Lucas and Claire late one night. "Every detail matters," he whispered. "Every weapon, every patrol, every weakness. If we forget anything, we fail. But if we remember everything, we can change everything." Lucas nodded slowly. "So that is why we wait." "So that is why we do not fight now," Claire smiled. "Humans are patient. That is our power. We are never reckless. We act with precision. That is why humans are never to be angered." The humans also began to develop advanced technology quietly. Scientists and engineers who had appeared to work on simple civilian projects were secretly designing new ships, weapons, and shields. Every creation was meant not for blind attack, but for precision, intelligence, and control. Even children contributed in small ways. They carried messages, helped repair damaged equipment, and learned how to observe carefully without being seen. Every human, no matter how young or old, played a role in the preparation. Months passed. The Vran Empire continued to patrol the human colonies, thinking humans were scared. Zalek believed the humans were cowed. "Soon, they will be mine to control," he said. "They are too weak to resist. I am patient, but I will not wait forever." But Zalek did not see the invisible work happening across human space. He did not see the quiet fleets being built, the intelligence being collected, the civilians being trained in survival and observation. He did not see humans turning every attack into knowledge, every insult into preparation. Adam, Lucas, and Claire were now part of a larger network. They traveled between colonies, quietly coordinating logistics, delivering messages, and assisting with planning. They had seen the alien attacks and they had learned. They had studied every step, every mistake, every flaw in the alien approach. Emma and Captain Ben held meetings with the leaders of other colonies. "We will not fight blindly," Ben said. "We will not panic. We will wait, learn, and prepare. When the time comes, our response will be unstoppable, not because we are angry, but because we are precise." Emma nodded. "Humans do not forget. We never act recklessly. And when the time comes, the galaxy will understand why humans are never to be angered." Meanwhile, the Vran Empire made a mistake. They increased attacks on smaller colonies, believing that fear would force humans to respond. But instead of fear, humans gained more knowledge. They learned patrol routes, supply lines, and leadership patterns. Every move Zalek made strengthened human strategy. In a quiet room on Karis, Adam looked at a large map with Lucas and Claire. Every mark on the map represented alien activity. Every line, every symbol was a piece of intelligence. "We know where they are weak," Adam said. "We know how they move, and we will wait for the perfect moment." Lucas smiled faintly. "And then," Adam's eyes were steady, "then we act, not in anger but in precision. Not in panic but in control. And when we do, the galaxy will never forget it." Claire added quietly, "They think we are weak. They think we will panic, but patience is stronger than anger. Observation is stronger than attack. And humans never forget." As the months passed, human colonies became quiet fortresses. Civilians were ready to evacuate if necessary, small fleets were ready to move undetected, and intelligence networks stretched across space. Humans had not raised weapons in anger, but they were prepared to act with perfect timing. Zalek grew frustrated. "Why do they do nothing? They are supposed to break. Are they hiding weakness? Or are they mocking me?" Krell hesitated. "Commander, they are preparing. But we cannot predict what they will do." Zalek's anger blinded him. He believed humans were weak and would crumble under further pressure. He did not realize that every attack, every insult, every death had strengthened human resolve. Every silent observation, every careful record, every quiet preparation brought humans closer to a force that would shock the galaxy. On Karis, Adam, Lucas, and Claire walked through a quiet forest at night. The twin moons reflected off the river, and the stars above were clear. "Do you think they will come again?" Lucas asked. They will, Adam said calmly, but we are ready. Humans are always ready, and when the time comes, the galaxy will understand why humans are never to be angered. Claire looked at the horizon. It is strange. We have suffered, yet we are calm. We have been hurt, yet we do not fight yet. And still we are stronger than ever. Adam nodded. Patience is our strength, memory is our power, and precision is our weapon. Humans wait, humans learn. And when the time comes, humans strike with purpose. Across human space, preparations continued quietly. Ships were repaired, weapons were built, and intelligence was shared. Every human understood their role. Every human understood that their patience, their calm, and their memory were more powerful than fear or anger. And in the Vran Empire, Zalek continued to believe humans were weak. He did not see the silent networks, the careful observation, and the invisible fleets being built. He did not understand that humans were learning from every mistake he made. The quiet preparation of humanity was invisible to the galaxy. To the aliens, humans seemed small, weak, and fearful. But in truth, humans were becoming unstoppable. Adam, Lucas, and Claire sat by the river looking at the moons. "We are ready," Adam whispered. Lucas smiled faintly. "Not because we are angry." Adam shook his head. "No, because we are humans, and humans are never to be angered." The stars shone quietly above, and the galaxy remained unaware of the storm that was silently growing in Human Space Part 4. One controlled strike. Months of quiet preparation had passed. Humans across multiple colonies had repaired ships, built new ones, trained crews, and mapped alien patrols. Every detail of the Vran Empire's movements was recorded and analyzed. Every weakness, every pattern, every mistake was memorized. Humans had not reacted in anger, but their patience had grown into precision, and now the time had come. Adam, Lucas, and Claire stood in a control room on Karis. The room was filled with maps, screens, and blinking lights that showed alien fleets, trade routes, and patrol schedules. They were part of a larger network coordinating the strike across human space. Adam looked at the screens carefully. All fleets are in position. Every supply line, every command post, every patrol has been mapped. We strike where it hurts them most, and we do it once perfectly. Lucas frowned. Are you sure we can do it? One strike and everything changes. If we fail, Adam shook his head. We will not fail. We have prepared for months. Every detail has been checked. Every crew knows their role. We act with precision. This is not anger. This is strategy. Claire smiled faintly. And humans never forget. Every loss, every insult, every attack they made against us has been remembered. This strike will be the result of all their mistakes. Captain Ben and advisor Emma stood nearby, overseeing the final coordination. All fleets are ready, Ben said calmly. Civilian evacuations are complete. Communications are secure. The time has come. Emma nodded. Remember, our goal is not to destroy blindly. We focus on military and command targets. We minimize civilian harm. Precision is our weapon, not chaos. At that moment, across human space, small fleets moved silently. Ships that had appeared ordinary months before were now filled with weapons, shields, and trained crews. Intelligence officers like Noah and scouts like Lisa had ensured that every alien movement was accounted for. Humans were ready. In the Vran Empire, Zalek was oblivious. He believed humans were still weak, still silent, still afraid. They do nothing, he said to Krell. Soon I will strike again and they will fall. He did not notice the human fleets moving undetected, hiding in asteroid fields, slipping past sensors, and positioning themselves near key systems. He did not know that the quiet species he had mocked was about to change the balance of the galaxy. Adam, Lucas, and Claire received their final instructions. They would monitor the strike, assist with communications, and ensure precision in targeting. Every human from Karis to distant colonies had a role. Then, without warning, the strike began. Across the galaxy, human fleets emerged from hiding. They moved quickly, silently, and with perfect coordination. Supply lines were cut, command centers were disabled, and key military bases were destroyed. The Vran Empire's defenses were strong, but they were designed to defend against direct attacks, not coordinated, multi-pronged precision strikes. Adam watched the screens, noting the alien fleet's reactions. They scrambled, firing weapons randomly, but humans had already calculated their movements. Every attack, every counterattack, every escape route had been predicted. Lucas whispered, "It's working. Every move is exactly as planned." Claire nodded. "This is what patience gives us. Knowledge, preparation, precision. This is why humans are never to be angered." In another sector, Captain Ben led a fleet that disabled a key alien supply base. Human ships moved with speed and accuracy. Shields absorbed attacks while their own weapons targeted critical systems. Not a single human ship was lost unnecessarily. Every strike was calculated, every action deliberate. Emma coordinated the intelligence network. She guided smaller human units to disable alien communications and supply lines. Every colony contributed. Every human played a role. The Vran Empire, which had once thought humans weak, now found itself overwhelmed. Zalek watched reports coming in. "Impossible! How can they strike with such precision? They are weak. They are supposed to be weak." Krell tried to calm him. "Commander, perhaps humans are not what we believed. They planned this silently for months. They knew every weakness." Zalek roared in frustration. "I will not accept this. We will fight back. We are stronger. They cannot defeat us." But humans had anticipated his reaction. Every counterattack was expected. Every alien fleet movement was predicted. Humans avoided unnecessary confrontation, focusing only on disabling key systems. The strike was controlled, precise, and devastating. On Karis, Adam, Lucas, and Claire monitored the progress. They noted how alien fleets scattered, how supply lines were cut, and how command posts were destroyed. "They will remember this," Claire said quietly. Adam nodded. "Yes, they will remember that humans strike with precision. They will remember that humans are patient. They will remember that humans are never to be angered." Lucas looked at the map and saw the larger picture. "We are changing the balance of the galaxy, and we did it without panic, without rage, without chaos." "Exactly," Adam said. "We acted with strategy. And that is stronger than anger." Across the galaxy, the human strike continued for hours. Systems that had once seemed untouchable fell. Alien fleets were trapped, their movements anticipated, their resources cut. Not a single attack was random. Not a single strike was wasted. Noah and Lisa reported back from their scouting positions. Every predicted movement happened as planned. Humans anticipated every reaction. The Vran Empire is confused and overwhelmed. Emma smiled faintly. "This is the result of patience, observation, and preparation. This is why humans survive and why humans are never to be angered." In the Vran Empire, Zalek was desperate. "They cannot be this strong. They are weak. They are only human." Krell shook his head. "Commander, you underestimated them. You thought silence meant weakness. You thought patience meant fear, but humans are not like us. Their patience is power. Their calm is strength. And now they have struck." The strike ended as suddenly as it began. Human fleets returned to hiding, taking only what they had planned. They avoided unnecessary destruction and casualties. Civilian populations were unharmed wherever possible. Every human action had been precise, calculated, and controlled. Adam, Lucas, and Claire walked through Karis once more, watching the stars. "It is done," Adam said softly. Lucas exhaled. "It worked. We did it without chaos, without anger, without panic." Claire nodded. "And the galaxy will remember this. They will remember that humans act only when necessary, and when humans act, it is perfect." Captain Ben and advisor Emma gathered their officers. "Our job is done for now," Ben said. "We have proven our strength without reckless violence, but we remain ready. Humans never act without reason, but we never forget either. Emma added, and every species in the galaxy will know that humans are not to be underestimated. They will know that humans are never to be angered. The Vran Empire, defeated in this sudden strike, struggled to regroup. Zalek's pride had been shattered. He realized too late that humans were not weak, not foolish, and not unprepared. They had been planning quietly, observing every move and preparing their response with care. Far across the colonies, Adam, Lucas, and Claire returned home. Children played, people worked, and life continued quietly. But humans now held a silent, unspoken power. They had struck once precisely, and the galaxy had felt it. Lucas turned to Adam. "Do you think they will try again?" Adam smiled faintly. "They may, but they will think twice. Humans strike with patience, strategy, and precision. And humans are never to be angered." The twin moons reflected off the rivers and stars shone brightly above. The galaxy had seen only a fraction of human strength, yet it had already begun to understand the truth. Humans were calm, patient, and intelligent. Humans could wait. Humans could learn. And when they struck, humans did so with precision that no one could match. And somewhere in the Vran Empire, Zalek whispered in frustration, "I underestimated them. I made a terrible mistake." But it was too late. Humans had proven their point. One controlled strike had changed the balance of power. One patient, precise action had shown the galaxy that humans were not weak. Humans were calm, intelligent, and deadly when necessary. Adam, Lucas, and Claire looked at the stars one final time that night. "We have done what we must," Adam said. Claire nodded. "And the galaxy knows it now." Lucas smiled faintly. "It is strange. We fought without anger, without rage, without chaos, and yet we were unstoppable." Adam's eyes were steady. "That is why humans are never to be angered." The galaxy would not forget it. Part 5. The warning remembered. After the controlled strike, humans returned quietly to their colonies. Life on Karis, Selura, and other worlds slowly resumed a sense of calm. Children played, farmers tended crops, and markets opened once more. To an outsider, nothing had changed, but the galaxy had already felt the shift. Humans had proven their patience, intelligence, and precision. They had acted with strength but without unnecessary violence. And now, the message they left would echo across the stars. Adam, Lucas, and Claire walked along the river in Karis. The twin moons reflected on the calm water and the stars shone above. Adam looked at the sky, thinking about the past months, the attacks, the preparation, and the final strike. "We did it," Lucas said softly. "We showed them, but it feels strange. We did not fight with anger, we just acted." Adam nodded. "That is what makes humans different. We act when necessary. We do not act blindly. And when we do act, we are precise. That is why the galaxy will remember us." Claire smiled faintly. "And the aliens, Zalek and his empire. They will remember," Adam said firmly. "And so will everyone else. Humans are not reckless, but humans are never to be angered." Across human space, Captain Ben and Advisor Emma coordinated the aftermath. Human fleets returned to hidden bases, repairs were made, and intelligence officers compiled reports of every movement, every reaction, and every weakness discovered in the alien empire. Every detail would be kept for the future. Emma looked at Ben. "We have sent the signal to the Galactic Union. It is simple, clear, and strong." Ben nodded. "Yes, we do not seek dominance. We do not want war, but we make it clear that humans will act if threatened, and we will act with precision. The message must be understood." The signal was broadcast across the galaxy. It traveled through known trade routes, long-range communication networks, and even ancient transmission channels rarely used. The message was simple. Humans are calm, humans are fair, but humans are never to be angered. In the Vran Empire, Zalek received the message and stared at it in disbelief. They are telling us not to anger them," he whispered. His claws trembled slightly. "How can a species so small, so human, strike with such precision?" How can they act with patience and still be so deadly? Krell, who had watched the strike, nodded grimly. Commander, we misjudged them. We believed silence was weakness, patience was fear, but humans are not like us. They plan, they observe, and they act only when the time is right. They remember every wrong, and when they strike, it is perfect. Zalek's pride would not allow him to admit full defeat, but he knew the truth. Humans had changed the balance of power. They had proven that calm, patience, and preparation were more powerful than brute force or fear. Back on Karis, Adam, Lucas, and Claire visited the families who had survived the attacks. They helped rebuild homes and shared stories of quiet bravery. Villagers were proud yet humble. No one boasted about the strike. They understood that humanity's strength came from unity, intelligence, and self-control, not anger. Lucas spoke to a group of children. You see, humans are strong not because we fight quickly. We are strong because we think, we learn, and we remember. We act when it is right. And that is what makes humans unstoppable. The children listened carefully, their eyes wide. They understood, even in their simple way, that being patient and smart was a kind of strength too. Claire looked at the horizon. Do you think other species will ever understand us? Adam smiled faintly. Some may never understand, but they will respect us. They will respect what humans are capable of. And they will remember the lesson. Humans are never to be angered. Across human space, smaller alien species began to hear of the human strike. Some had previously underestimated humanity. They had mocked humans as weak, slow, and unremarkable, but reports spread quickly. Humans had struck once, with control, with intelligence, and without unnecessary destruction. Entire fleets had been disabled. Command systems had been destroyed. Supply lines had vanished. The galaxy began to understand that humans were not to be tested. Some alien species approached human colonies cautiously. They offered messages of friendship, diplomacy, and trade. They acknowledged human strength quietly. Humans received them calmly, without pride or anger. They did not gloat. They simply made it clear that humans would act if needed, and that restraint did not mean weakness. Adam, Lucas, and Claire met with Captain Ben and advisor Emma. The galaxy is changing, Adam said. Other species are starting to understand humans. Emma nodded. Yes. But we remain vigilant. The galaxy is wide. Some will learn quickly. Others may take time, but the lesson will be remembered. Ben added, and humans will continue their lives. We rebuild, we grow, and we prepare quietly. Strength is shown not only in strikes but in survival, wisdom, and patience. Claire smiled. It feels good to know that we acted with precision, not anger, that we did not lose ourselves, that humans are always ready but never reckless. In the Vran Empire, Zalek's pride had been shattered. He understood that his arrogance had been a mistake, but even in defeat, he was forced to respect humans. They are humans, he muttered, but they are unlike any species I have ever faced. We will never test them again lightly, Krell nodded. No species should. Humans are calm, intelligent, and precise, and now every species in the galaxy knows humans are never to be angered. On Karis, Adam, Lucas, and Claire stood together on a hill overlooking the village. The river sparkled under the twin moons. The air was calm. Life continued quietly. Lucas broke the silence. Do you think humans will ever use this strength again? Adam thought for a moment. We will use it only when necessary. Humans do not seek war. But humans will protect themselves and others, and when we act it will be with precision. That is our way, that is our strength. Claire added softly, and the galaxy will always remember it. Children played nearby, unaware of the galaxy-wide impact of the strike. They learned lessons quietly from their elders and from stories. They learned that patience, intelligence, and preparation could be more powerful than anger or force. Across human colonies, humans rebuilt. They repaired homes, repaired ships, and restored trade routes. They celebrated quietly, not with pride or arrogance, but with a deep sense of purpose. They had proven something important. That strength was not measured in aggression, but in patience, observation, and action at the right moment. Captain Ben addressed the fleet commanders one last time. We have shown the galaxy what humans are capable of. We acted once precisely. We acted without anger, and the galaxy will remember, but we remain ready. Humans are always ready, and humans are never to be angered. Emma stood beside him. The galaxy will spread the lesson. Every species will know now that humans may be calm, but that calm is strength. Every species will know that patience is power, and every species will know that humans do not forget. Adam, Lucas, and Claire watched the twin moons rise once more. It is over for now, Adam said. The lesson has been sent, but humans will continue to live, to grow, and to remember. That is our way. Lucas smiled faintly. We survived. We taught them without chaos, without anger, and we are stronger than ever, Claire nodded. That is humanity, calm, precise, and unstoppable when necessary. Adam looked at the stars. And the galaxy will never forget it. Humans are never to.